Quick Check Entertainment.
Hello, people. Hello. I am doing the solo thing tonight. What is up with you, man? What is up with you? I'm just going to do a little review as best I can on Suicide Squad. I was able to watch it last night. And man, I'm just telling you, boy, hard to watch. See if I can get my Vegeta picture looking better, but don't like it's gonna happen. Anyone want to come on in? Come on in. Oh, gotta do better than that. Clean this up a little bit. Clean up my green screen just a little bit. Make it look a little bit better. There we go. Let me try something just a little bit off. Hold on 1 minute. You want to jump in, Zod? Jump in. I will send you. Give me a minute. I will send you the link, buddy. You can jump right on in. Let me send Mr. Zod the link. Come on. Hold on, Zod. I'm trying to send it to you. Hold on. Let me try it again. Okay, here we go. I'll send it to your Twitter, Zod. Where you at on Twitter? There you go. All right, I just sent it to you, bro. Anybody that's watching this, we will be discussing Suicide Squad 2 from two perspectives. Apparently, Zod enjoyed the movie. I didn't.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man? Welcome to the show. First time here. Thanks for coming,
Man,
bro.
I've been wanting to do something with you for like the longest, but then when
Yeah.
you posted this, I said I had to be on here when we talked about the biggest win for DC.
Come on now. Come on. Oh my God. I'm telling you. Please tell me you're joking that you like this movie, right?
No, I legitimately like this, but I mean, I recognize the flaws, but I will say when you go from what we got with the original one till now, I'd say this is a massive improvement story wise, acting and performances, special effects, lighting, music,
I
sound design.
was I was more interested in the first one than this one because the big star role, whatever his name is, to me, it didn't look real. It looked like, oh my God. I like the banter between Bloodsport and was Peacemaker. That one part when they went to the if in case you didn't know, people that's watching, this is gonna be a full spoiler. If you haven't watched it, then don't watch this because we're gonna discuss this in detail. When they went to the camp and killed the wrong people, I was entertained by that. But for other
I mean,
and
I
that
mean, but
thing,
to say that the original, I mean, the original. Let's be real. I don't think that the director wanted to put what he wanted to on that. I think that the studio definitely tampered with that. I would have been interested to see what his original idea was. But I gotta say, James Gunn is good at what he does, and I think he does a lot of great choices. I think it was smart to make this R rated. And come on,
I
you
do,
gotta admit,
I do,
some of
I
that
agree.
shit shocked you.
Yeah,
Like,
the first 5 minutes, I'm like, what? When they landed on the beach for the next 10 minutes, I'm like, what the hell is what's going on? And then, but I didn't like the fact that they killed Captain Boomerang. That pissed me off because um, just his banter on a plane flying there, man. I was like, man. Then you saw what his boomerangs could do now. The upgrade did to the boomerangs. So I mean, I was like, good lord, they gonna kill half the team, and then I didn't like the way they kept doing like 3 hours later or 3 minutes 3 minutes earlier. I didn't like all that, but it was some parts that made me chuckle. But for the most part, man, I was like, okay, this is kind of to me it was kind of goofy. It was more goofy than funny to me.
I mean, I could get with you on some of that. I do think there was a thing, but there was a like a maybe some leftover Gardens of the Galaxy rust.
Yeah, I've heard
But
that. I've heard a comparison to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, especially. I heard that a lot.
But I do see, and I know like me, you watch a lot of films. I do see that old like. Have you ever seen that movie he did, Super?
Super. Was it a what? Tell me what about? Maybe it might jog my
It was
memory.
about a guy who loses his girlfriend and he kind of becomes like what Batman would be if he was like
Nah,
killing people for
I didn't
small
see that one.
infractions.
I didn't seen that one. Was
Oh,
it
it's a great film. It's one of James Gunn's first films, and it's called
okay?
Super.
Super.
Um, he uh, he he does a really good job with this kind of stuff, and the reveal at the end of Brightburn was that was actually a connected universe. That's why it was kind of crazy when he shows the clips at the end. That was
Yeah,
connected to his first superhero R-rated movie he ever did.
I didn't know that.
So
I'm a fan of Brightburn, so I like Brightburn. But go ahead,
yeah,
continue.
yeah, he was the co-producer on that because those news clips you see, that's
Yeah,
actually like he wanted to do an R-rated kind of connected evil hero universe. So that was him laying down the groundwork for that. So coming back to this, I saw a lot of shades, and if you guys don't know, he also co-wrote or he wrote and produced the Dawn of the Dead with Zack Snyder. That wasn't Zack
yeah.
Snyder just directed that. He wrote the story. So Gunn's very good, and I would argue that the biggest strength for me was how he gave those stories. Like Ratcatcher's story, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like I had to turn my head away from my girl. I was tearing up. That was like that scene they had when he was talking about the rats and like how they're underestimated and stuff. And you know, nobody really looks favorably on them, but they're never alone. Like he had some legitimately great gut-wrenching moments in the film.
Well, I must be desensitized because I didn't tee up for any of this stuff. So my friend tell me, also said, man, you don't have a sense of humor, and I'm gonna rewatch this again. But I am just so thankful that I have HBO Max and I didn't spend my money because I would have been really, really disappointed if I'd have gone to the movie theater and spent 30, 40, 50 bucks taking my grandson because I don't know if I'd have taken one of those because this was a little too much for him. But usually he's my going to the movies partner.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah. I was gonna take my daughter, dude, and I watched it. I'm like, nah, and she's 14, but I was like, no, she did
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit too much.
yeah, there was too much. Some of those killing scenes and stuff was a bit too violent for him. But I mean, I say this in the past. I'm going to continue to say this. I want all comic book movies to be successful. To me, this just wasn't just successful. I won't pay money to go see this again, but I will watch it at the comfort of my home. Before we go any further, Bigger Ford Entertainment, Alonzo, what's up, man? Thank you, sir. $5.49 super chat. I appreciate it. Suicide Squad was fire. He is a good friend of mine, Zod. We streamed together on several different shows. And he told me he went before. He was able to see it a day before the early viewing. So he saw it Wednesday. I saw it yesterday, and he was like, "Man, this thing is fire and stuff." So he got me kind of excited, man. Because with the exception of him liking two movies I don't like for Meteor Man and damn Blank Man, we pretty much got.
Oh, see, now I would be with. I'm sorry, I would side with him. Blake Man was hilarious.
Oh my
That was like
god,
classic '90s cheese.
that was trash, man, trash. But
You hurt my soul.
some of that goofy stuff, man. The older I get, it's not funny to me anymore. I like more like the Eddie Murphy, like um, Coming to America 2. I thought that was funny. Not funny as the first. And then I Am Dolomite. I thought that was funny. Not as funny as the original. But some of the when they try to put superhero and comedy together, I usually don't like it. So I mean, I will give this another watch, like I said, because it's in the comfort of my home. And well, me and my oldest daughter, we watched it last night. And at one point, she kind of got up and started doing chores, and she came back. We finished it together, but just not my cup of tea.
I get what you know. What I get what you're saying. Like I do believe that that there is that leftover goofiness. Like he's trying to shake that off, and you can feel that in the film. Like tonally, I'll admit. And there's even a point in the middle where it kind of slows down, and they're all talking and stuff like that. And I agree. Like tonally, it can be a little bit jarring with the way that they'll do something hilarious, but then he'll snap right into something like grotesque or a torture scene.
Yeah.
And it's really throws you off when you're viewing it because
Yeah,
you're like,
it did seem disjointed to you a little bit, Zod.
No. I mean, look, I'm a big DC show, so you know I'm going to go in hard, but I also critique, and I think when it's fair when you critique, you do need to be, unlike these critics we got these days, you got to be fair. And no movie's perfect. So yeah, I could totally see where someone will watch this. And 1 minute you'll be in a scene with a bunch of people dying and there'll be a comedy. But then the next minute you'll hit a serious point and you're like, well, there was no leading up to this. Like you weren't really prepared. And it kind of just snaps you into a scene. It's really
like when Holly is making out with the guy and they seem to be vibing and stuff and he's talking. Yeah, the next thing you know, she kills him. I'm like, where did that come from?
But see, I totally agree because if you look at Harley Quinn's character, I think that highlights that she's crazy. Like that would make you forget. Like, and I would agree that it's disjointing, but I think that that helps because there is a theme in this movie, right? If you really watch it, the theme is, can these people be redeemed, and who out of them is truly evil versus who's kind of just in a shitty situation, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but I'm sorry, curse a lot on my channel. I apologize, but who's in a bad situation. So I think that was great because a lot of people, and it's always annoyed me, and I don't know if it annoys you, but a lot of people put Harley Quinn on a pedestal. Like they try to make her like she's good, but she's not. She's damaged. She's broken. Joker abused her, and every guy she's been with has mentally tormented her or beaten her up and abused her. So she's not stable. And I think that was an excellent scene because I don't even think if she found a happy guy, the right guy, she could accept that because in her mind, she's not worth being treated good. She's just broken. And I thought that scene was great in illustrating this guy was ready to give her, dude, I was going to marry him. He was going to give her a mansion, make her his queen.
I hear what you're saying, but I didn't look in it that deep. But what you say does make sense. Does hold water. So, I mean, I'll see that. But like I said, I'm going to watch this movie again because I was really just jacked up based on what Anzo said and also looking at the critics giving this thing. And one time, this thing was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I know some people don't give a lot of weight to Rotten Tomatoes, but 100%, man, that's pretty strong. Then like a day or two later, or maybe a few hours later, it went down to 98. And then we checked it last night, and it still was at like 95. So I'm like, I don't see 95. I don't even think Endgame got that much, or Infinity War. I have to go back and double check, make sure I'm correct.
Dude, that pisses me off because, like, with Infinity War, man, like, Endgame you can argue, but Infinity War to me was like a masterpiece. And look, you guys, I'm a DC fan, but I can admit when Marvel does it right, and 90% of the time they do. And that movie to me is a masterpiece. I will fight anyone for that. That should be in the high 90s. And look, I wouldn't rate this a 90% movie, but I would say, being what we've been given by tons of media today, this movie to me is not a masterpiece, but you could just turn your brain off and actually have some fun. There's no messaging in it. There's no, agendas. Harley's scene to me was believable. Like that thing she did with the guard. Like, did you see, dude, her thighs? She obviously worked out. Like, dude, her thighs were jacked. I was like, me and my girlfriend went to see this, and I was looking, and my girl was like, I was like, yeah, did she put on some weight in her legs, like she was working out.
Yeah, she did. Now she looked like she could have really snapped his neck if she really wanted to in real life. So I think they put in the work for this, but to me it was just some kind of goofy parts. It was disjointed. One thing to me was goofy was, okay, after they broke out of somewhere and was going to rescue her, he didn't have on his suit, but he had on his helmet. And Peacemaker didn't have on his suit, but he had on his helmet. To me, that just looks stupid. And he climbed the side of the wall. I'm just being nitpicky, but this it was like, oh God, this is not what I felt cheated. I felt like I was misinformed when I hear all the hype and the hype doesn't match what I see on the screen. So it was just a little like, okay, kind of took the wind out of my sail a little bit. Let me catch up on some of these chats. Jason Lee Tucker says, thank God for HBO Max. Thank you, sir. Anzo for Bigger for the Timid says, facts, no sense of humor. And my Shots Fired video will prove that. Oh, my God. I'll be in that
tomorrow. I don't know. You don't like Blank Man. He
done got me for that, too. Jason Lee Tucker said, the killing scenes were overdone. Anzo says, Zod is on point.
Thank you.
UK Barra 25, UK Barra. Just I can't believe Captain B just death early in movie. Yeah, man, that really kind of like, damn, man, he's one of my favorites. But
Can I offer a perspective on that really quick?
yes, go ahead.
I like that, and I'll tell you why. Because I loved Captain Boomerang in this and in the last one. I thought he was actually one of the best parts of that movie. And I think that that was smart. And hopefully, man, when you go through the second time, you can kind of see where I'm coming from, and it might give you a new perspective. But think about this: what is our problem with Marvel movies and even some of DC movies? Right? There's no stakes. You don't when you see the people that start out in the cast, you think, okay, everybody's gonna live because they kind of conditioned us like that. I mean, even Endgame, I couldn't pick who was going to actually die. And then they're doing the multiverse, so you don't know if these people will be back, right? There's never any stakes. But when they killed off Boomerang for me, it kind of, I was like, oh shit. Like, people I actually die. People I like and get attached to have the possibility. And I think one thing James Gunn did great in this movie was, and I'm only speaking for myself, but I did honestly feel like no one was safe. There's a lot of scenes where you're like, oh, they might actually die. And it's something that they haven't done in a lot of these movies for a long time.
Yeah, again, you make another good point, man. But sometimes you just don't want to see some of your favorites die because right now, unlike Marvel, Marvel has a multiverse, and we can bring these people back. Like I said, they're going to bring back Iron Man. They're going to bring back Captain America. Killing Flag and Boomerang, man, I just don't think that was the right thing. Now, maybe later on as the story progresses, but definitely, if you're going to kill Boomerang, why did Flag die? There was no reason for him to die.
Actually, that was a comic storyline. There's a storyline where he betrayed. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, where he betrays Waller. They're still running it. And I like that aspect that he mixed that in. And once again, dude, when I was watching that, I think it served 2 points. Okay. One, look at John Cena's character. Now, I don't know about you, but by the end of it, I was really liking his character, right? And I was like, oh, maybe he'll have a turn. And I think it goes back to the theme this movie is setting, right? Who can be redeemed? And John Cena, I don't think is a bad guy, but it goes with the idea that he's like an extreme Captain America, right? And it's like he doesn't have the distinction of there's right, there's wrong, and then there's a shade of gray. He lives in either America or I'm killing him. That's his mindset. And you see him kind of changing throughout the story, right? When he's getting along with people. But then, did you see his face when he killed him? That wasn't the face of someone who wanted to do it. Like, I'll give it to Cena. This is some of the best acting, and I hate John Cena. This is some of the best acting I've ever seen him do because his face, he looked like he was surprised when he.
Yeah, like he didn't want to, like he regretted doing it.
Instantly. Yeah. And I think that was a great move because they're making a Peacekeeper show. And I think that he smartly set up growth for Peacekeeper and like, okay, like, is he going to be affected by killing him? Because he was close to Flag. And remember when he had him at gunpoint, he said, you're a hero. I don't want to have to kill an American hero. I respect you, but if I got to, I will. And I think it was, I think that, yeah, you could have maybe not killed him. But then again, it goes, oh, this is a guy from the first movie. He's the leader of the team. It's like something you don't see coming. You're like, oh, shit. And then it makes you question Peacekeeper because it's like this guy is willing to kill someone he respects and essentially loves. And is he right? And I think that's the question he was trying to raise in that scene.
Yeah. It is apparent that you delved more into this movie than I did because I didn't see all that, but I did see on John Cena's face, and I made a mental note of that the minute he killed, I think he was on instinct while he was fighting, and then he already just muscle memory took over, and then once he realized what he did, I think he wanted to take it back, but it seemed like he had this kind of competitor's grudge against Bloodshot, so to speak, because when he was shooting at him, he didn't like he wanted to do that. So
yeah, I think it was the shock of him killing killing Kennelman, and then and you could see too. Now he could have killed that rat, the Rat Queen. I'm just gonna call her Rat Queen. She's awesome, by the way. But he could have killed her right away, right? When you see it, and that's another thing. Like, man, go back through and break it down, because I think you'll get another appreciation for it. This was my second time seeing it, so I saw it once as a fan, and then I went as a critic. Now, when you look at that evolution, right, what do they do right away? Him and Bloodsport, they kill people instantaneously. They don't think about it. But did you notice he kind of like chases her and stuff like that? And you're talking about a man who literally puts a bullet in someone without thinking. And I think that's like what they're hinting at. Like, he's conflicted. He didn't want to kill her either. Like, he hesitated. And that gave Bloodsport enough time to get in there. Otherwise, who knows,
Yeah. What up, Perp?
Hey, what up, Perp?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying is making sense. I can't sit here and say that it don't. I just, like I said, I'm gonna watch it again, and this time I'm gonna try and look at it more from a reviewer standpoint than a fan. I was looking at it totally in fan mode last night, so I'm gonna look at it from a reviewer. John Lover sent a $2 super chat. He says, "Show full design, Dragon Ball ZT. You wear well. Oh, this is Vegeta, bro.
Oh yeah, that's the man right there. Much respect."
Yep. Vegeta in super god form, I think it is. In fact, I bought it from Hot Topic. I think it was just this week. So that's all it is, bro. Thanks for noticing. Perp Minded said, "Danny, the movie's called Suicide Squad. If nobody dies, that would be a huge L. It's why the first one sucked." Bro, I'm not saying that people don't get killed. I don't mind about that thing that like the fucking weasel should have been dead. I didn't mind. I didn't mind Javelin. I didn't even mind old boy that thought he was hard when he got off the ship. And then he started crying like a little bitch, and she blew him up. Yep, I didn't mind that. All I'm saying is, don't kill Boomerang. Don't kill Flag. Everybody else could have died. And the way it looked like, the Suicide Squad part doesn't apply to the shark, because I mean, bullet and what did make sense? Those fish bite teeth broke his skin, but he got shot 10 million times. 2 or 3 buildings fell on him, and not a scratch. But the teeth of those little fish leave teeth marks in his skin. I'm like, okay, something ain't adding up on that. So I still didn't figure that out yet.
I'm gonna chalk that up. Look, there was plot armor clearly. Like, let's be real. We knew Harley Quinn wasn't gonna die. They're talking about giving her a movie or whatever.
Yep.
Another one that should be successful.
And I knew Bloodsport wasn't gonna die. I knew he wasn't.
Yeah, because he had the daughter arc. But honestly, the rest of let me tell you, the death that really got me was Polka Dot Man. Like, I was pulling for him. I'm not gonna lie.
I was too, man. His powers wasn't as goofy as they are in the comic book. Because in the comic book, I don't think they got that asset property to him. But like everything them suckers touch, and this man was like melting shit. And I believe if he would have shot enough of that shit on that starfish, he probably would have killed that starfish.
I knew, and my girl called it too, because and it was funny going with my girl, because she's not a fan of DC at all. She really doesn't care, but she enjoyed every scene but the bird murder. Like, that got to her. I was like, honey, they're CGI birds. She likes birds, whatever. But that got to her. But like, she looked, and we both looked at each other. Like, when he stopped, I was like, no. I was like, come on, man, don't stop. Like, but it's kind of a statement, right? Because he's like, I'm a hero. And I think, like, if you really look at it, I think that a lot of the point of the film are these broken people, and the Suicide Squad is what, like, their second, third, fifth, 16th chance, right? It's a chance for them to do their evil thing, but use it to help people out.
That's what it's intended for, but the inmate is running the asylum, and the inmate is doggone Amanda Waller. She's just as crazy. She's just as crazy as they are.
Dude,
So,
let me ask you, what did you think of Waller's character? Because that was the one thing I was on the fence about. Like,
hey,
she's cold blooded.
yeah,
Like,
when she said when she made put the use his daughter as leverage, I'm like, man, this woman here, man, she put a new meaning to bitch, and then she was like, stop running, god damn it, mother, and then she was gonna kill them if that woman had knocked her out.
yeah,
So
and that was, and see, I when I was really looking at it, right? Because, like you said, I watched it once as a fan, but when you look at it from a critical standpoint and storytelling, you see that James Gunn actually really has a point he's trying to make throughout the story, right? Because it's bad people, and one is, can these people be redeemed? I think is a big thing. Like, based on their crimes, who deserves to be there? Oh, look, it's Fatal J. What's up,
what's up, Fanny?
man?
What's up, bro?
Um, you know, it's who can be redeemed, right? But then the other story, and I think I can grab onto this from a military perspective, and I know, being with police and stuff, it's
Uh-huh.
where is the line, and what's acceptable to say, like, hey, we got to get this done and do something that maybe people are too afraid to do. And coming from what I did, I can actually kind of respect the point of view he was bringing. Like, there's shades of gray, but like, how do you stay in the line still? Because
Yeah.
Batman does the same thing, but Waller is willing to kill people,
Man,
and it's
Waller.
like, so which side is right and wrong? Because she
See,
isn't wrong.
uh, I think she's wrong. That's murder.
I mean, she isn't wrong with the idea behind what
She's
she's
not.
saying.
Yeah, she's not wrong with creating that squad to try to do good. I'm with her on that. But when they don't do what she's supposed to do, the same way she put that bomb in there, she could put something that would knock them out. Then just put them back into the cell. Then let them stay out their sentence or lifetime, whatever it is. She don't have to kill them. That's just
Yeah,
the
and I think,
lenience in her. The same way she put that bomb in there, she could put something to neutralize them or knock them out. So that's just I don't agree with that aspect of the Suicide Squad. And if they get killed trying to complete a mission, okay, that's an acceptable loss. But okay, they don't want to do it, or you using family member to put leverage on them and stuff. That's kind of like how can you be a cop and you breaking the laws to get somebody to do what you want to do? That to me, that's just kind of
and
overstepping a little bit.
see, and now when you think about the end, that makes the ending better, because remember when they like rose up and they like knocked her out, right?
Uh
But there
huh.
was seeds of that, because remember the dude said, "Hey, you would really put his child in jail? Like, you kill a child?" And she looked at him and goes, "You'd be surprised at what I do."
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know about you. I got chills. I was like, this
Yeah.
bitch
She is cold, man. She put a new meaning to cold, bro. Cause somebody
Dude,
said
remember
that
the comics?
Batman was scared of
Batman
her.
wouldn't even mess with her.
That's what I
He's
heard. Somebody said Batman was scared. I said I don't think Batman's scared of her. I think Batman got a healthy respect for her because in the last one, she knew who he was, and then he told her, "Hey, if you don't stop doing all this crazy stuff you're doing, me and my friends are going to come and give you a visit." So I think both of them are just as bad, can be just as toxic or just as evil towards other one if they want to. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to ever underestimate Batman.
Oh, no, no. We've seen that Batman how many times, and I'm liking the new comic book run that they have with him, the Future State.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it's one of the best runs they've done in years, and I like the aspect of him not having, because everybody always throws up, oh, what is he without his toys, and he's still dangerous. And
Yeah.
I like that they kind of took that away from him to show you actually how resourceful he is. But yeah, like, Waller won't go near him just because of his connections, but they're not scared of each other. I was playing the Batman game the other day. I think it was Telltale, one with the Joker in it, and Enemy Within. and you meet them, and like you have so many standoffs because they have Amanda Waller in it, and you have standoffs with her where she won't go near you, and she says it's because he's a billionaire, and she works for the government, so she knows if he makes trouble, she can she can get defunded or whatever. But in this movie, I think that for me, and this is just my personal opinion, maybe I'm reading into it, but I feel like he lays down a lot of groundwork for it. I think he's really asking the questions of like, what's too far? Like, especially the ending, right? She says to them, get out of there. The mission's over. All we had to do was destroy the lab, let the big like starfish thing take over. And he's ready to do it, right? And throughout the whole thing, the rat catcher is telling Bloodsport he's a good person. He's a good person. He's refusing to believe it. And then he's like, fuck, and goes back. And when all of them go back, they literally knew they had bombs in their head. She could have killed them walking, and they still did the right thing. And I think that's like what Gunn's trying to get across in the movie. Like they can still skate this line and stay in it. Because they almost could have died right there, and they were done. They could have left. The mission was
I think they would have died if that woman would have knocked her the hell out. And which we probably gonna see. We won't see. That's why I do off screen. But Amanda Waller gonna kill her. She's good as dead. She don't even know it. She's good as dead.
They probably killed her. We didn't even get a chance to see it.
what wasn't that her and the other guy that went to the hospital at the very end scene credit and Peacemaker was in the bed?
The two texts that went along with it, and the setup for Peacemaker is supposedly their punishment because Amanda Waller, she punishes everyone, so their punishment is they're going to be assigned to be Peacekeeper's personal handler because he didn't die at the end.
I got you. Yeah. Pert Minded said, I think that a Peacemaker series is going to be a kind of like a redemption story. Probably will. Tony Roberts said, didn't Peacemaker die from the shot in his neck? No, he did not. If you watch the end scene credit, he is alive and well in the hospital. Well, alive, maybe not so much well. Drop said, dude, hey, Danny, what's up, Drop Shop? Fatal Jail Course, man. Go ahead.
I will say I agree with you with one thing. That was where that's where me and my girlfriend called BS. I was like, okay, come on. A building fell on him. He got shot in the neck. I found that a little.
Well, look at Bloodshot. I mean, he fall how many stories? Landed on his feet, then fell another 4 or 5 stories. I'm like, what the hell? This sucker here. They should call him Spider-Man. I haven't seen Spider-Man stick to a floor that well.
You got some points. There were some like obvious.
Yeah, just craziness. Fatal just said hello, Danny. What's up, Fatal? Commander Data said hello. Zach Holden said, what's up, Fatal? Zach Holden also said, y'all go subscribe to Fatal J if you haven't already. Yes, please do, man. Guy got a lot of good content, man. Go check him out. He's a Zack Snyder defender. Commander Data said, reminds me of Captain Marvel. Fatal J said, what's up, Zach? Fatal also follows up saying, Bloodsport was dope. Remind me of Will Smith, Deadshot. I agree. Samuel Stokes, what's up? What's up? What did you like better, Zara? Did you like this movie better or Black Widow? Zon, are you there? Hello? Mr. Zod, are you with us? I guess he's not. Billie Jean said, what makes a great Deadshot? Snarky. Will makes a great Deadshot. Yeah, I think Will Smith is going to be back in this next one. One reason why he wasn't in this one, I think, it was some kind of conflict in making other movies. I don't know if you can hear me or not, Zod, but I can't hear you. I can't hear you at all. So maybe you want to come back out, come back in if you're having issues. Because I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I'm here to review Suicide Squad 2. I didn't like it. Zod did like it more so than I did. Uh, just wasn't my cup of tea, but I watched it from a fan's um point of view. I'm gonna go back and watch it. I'm gonna watch it, try and break it down and see what's going on. But my initial thing is it's definitely a dud. If I gotta rank it, last time I ranked it on Rob Storm's channel, I gave it a 2 out of 10. That is what I gave it. I don't see where critics are giving this thing this 100. One time it was 100% Rotten Tomatoes. Then it went to 98. I think last night we checked it was like 95. I don't see it. Let's see. I'm gonna try it. Hey, I can hear you now.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear. I can hear you now. I don't know what happened last time. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah. My internet was a little bit spotty. We're having some bad
Okay.
news here.
All right. I had a question. Which you like better, this movie or Black Widow?
To be honest with you, I have not seen Black Widow. I have no desire to see it. I stopped watching Disney stuff. I'm kind of not watching anything by Disney. Um, it's a personal choice because of
I got you.
the stuff I follow. Everybody always bitches and complains about Disney, and I felt like, well, if you have a problem with it, then don't endorse them. So that's what I'm choosing not to do.
I got you.
But
Let me play devil's advocate.
yeah,
How can you have a channel that talks about pop culture and you cutting out a big chunk of pop culture?
I mean, there's plenty of pop culture.
I mean, but when these Marvel movies start rolling, you're not going to watch any of them, like Shang-Chi. You're not going to watch Eternals. You're not going to watch Black Panther 2. You're not going to watch um, Doctor Strange 2. You're going to not watch all that.
There's only two of them you said I'm interested in: Doctor Strange and Shang-Chi. I don't care about any of the other ones. Eternals looks boring. I've seen the previews for it. It looks uninteresting. The the um the other ones, it's like meh. WandaVision, I stopped in the middle of it, or towards the end of it, because of some stuff that happened when I started not watching them. And I got to be honest, I haven't felt like I missed anything. And from what I heard, Black Widow dropped the ball at the end of the movie, so I'm glad I didn't wind up watching that.
I think that if you watch Loki made WandaVision more important. And then Loki is going to directly tie into what I believe possibly the upcoming Spider-Man. I think it's definitely going to tie into the multiverse of madness, Doctor Strange 2. So even if you don't like it, a particular brand, I know a lot of people don't like Disney. And I'm going to commend you because you're one of the first people that have said that they don't like Disney and they're not supporting it. Because it's crazy to me when these people say, well, I'm not going to watch Disney. I'm going to unsubscribe. But then you're still paying money to see the product in some shape, form, or fashion. So in my opinion, I say this in one of my earlier videos, if you want to hurt a particular group or a company or like Disney, you got to stop paying them dollars. You got to cut out completely. And that's hard to do because Disney owns so much stuff, man. They own ESPN. So if you're a sportsman, who's going to start watching sports, man? God, that's going to hurt. They own ABC. And damn, Monday Night Football's on ABC. I mean, so they own so much stuff that you're just going to have to go online and Google what the hell they own and then just totally etch that out your life if you're really that hardcore. I'm not that hardcore.
Which is what I'm doing. To be honest with you, a lot of the sports stuff, I'm so far behind on teams. I haven't had a chance. You know what we do, and my daughter and security. I'm literally at work right now on stream just because it's downtime. But I mean, I said this, and this has been my problem with a lot of other channels. I don't want to name drop, but a lot of people, let's just say, will sit here and they'll talk like you said, oh, this is horrible. This is horrible. Well, when I say that I don't like something, I feel like it makes people understand how authentic I am by being like, hey, I just so choose to watch it. And look, I won't even jump on a review because I feel on the other end, it's not fair for me to say something just sucks because it's Marvel. Hey, I heard Loki was great. It could be the best thing in the world. It's just a personal choice, and I won't dissuade anyone and put out false information. But I don't have to endorse it. Spider-Man, I could still watch some of it because some of it's Sony. I don't count that. Like, I'm gonna go see Venom. I'm gonna watch the Spider-Verse. Oh, hey, Billie Jean, good to see you. But I mean, like you said, right? I'm just taking your philosophy, which is spot on. Like, if you don't like something, then by us being content creators and then going and making 15 videos about how much something sucks, I think it's counterproductive. Like, I think that it makes a stronger statement that I'm not endorsing them.
I agree. But I think some content creators, and I'm not bashing them, because if I was really wanting to just be like one of these big YouTubers, I probably would do the same thing. They're playing the algorithm. They know that if they get so many views, so many subs doing a particular topic, then they're gonna kind of ride that horse into the ground. Which, I mean, I don't care. I will make the statement, and I just don't want to cover things over and over and feel like I'm beating something to death. Now, one thing I do hammer home a lot, and I kind of do videos periodically, is about how we as YouTubers and content creators, sometimes we're taking the excitement and fun out of movies by analyzing it to death. I think that
Are you making a hit towards my Suicide
no,
Squad?
no, that is not going towards you at all, because I've seen your shows, and I've seen what you do. But there's some people, I mean, I'm not calling any names, but they will talk about Star Wars. They still talking about The Last Jedi. How long has it been since The Last Jedi was out?
Uh,
8, 9, 10 years, maybe. I don't understand that. I mean, if you're gonna use it as an example, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, because when you brought that up, that put something in me. Like, look, what really upset me about that, because you had people who wrote that Last Jedi, and the thing that upset me about that is, but then you'd watch Mandalorian and give him praise, and that's what I mean with why I won't cover stuff, because certain stuff, and take a stance, because it's like, okay, how can you say that Star Wars is dead? I hate this, I hate that, and then watch The Mandalorian and go, it's the greatest thing ever made, or say it sucks just because it's by Disney. That's terrible critique, and it's not fair to the people who come here to watch us give our honest opinions on something, and they're depending on us to give an objective view.
I agree with that statement. But I've heard some YouTubers say that the Luke Skywalker moment kind of saved. It kind of let all the crazy stuff kind of gave it a pass, so to speak. And Luke Skywalker moment, I can't lie, it was hot. I'm personally a Mace Windu fan, and I say it, and I will continue to say this. I think Mace Windu would have been just as fire, or either fire on a different level. A lot of people say I'm crazy, but I'm just saying, man. When we see the scene in black and white, we can't tell. We think it's Luke, but we can't tell until we actually see that green label. Would it have been just as cool if that lightsaber would have been purple? I think it would have been. I would have lost my shit. I would have been. I was, like I said, not taking anything away from Luke, because Luke Skywalker, that was a moment that is going to go down as one of the greatest reveals in a television show, any kind of series. That episode, and the episode when Ahsoka episode in Mandalorian. I don't know if you watched it or not. You say you don't watch Disney.
Yeah, I watched. I watched and I covered all of those, and that was actually what got me on my thing that I wasn't gonna watch them with the Gina Carano thing.
Yeah.
And it's really my political stance on things, which is how I was just like, hey, all of these people are saying they're done, but I'm actually done. It just upset me. And then, I dig into the parks and the financials, and there's a lot of shady stuff. So I don't want to endorse that. And don't get me wrong, WB I cover Amber Heard. WB has their own shady stuff, but it's it's just in this Black Widow thing too with ScarJo suing them, which I have been covering that because um, I think that their response was the most horrible response I ever heard, and I'll tell you why. Because no matter if you paid somebody an extra 20 million before, because remember this was supposed to be out almost 2 years ago,
Uh-huh.
so and then you try to make them feel bad by claiming the pandemic. I think it's a crappy way that they've done for years to try to get out of a contract. And it
Yeah.
really shows the kind of corporation they are. And look, you guys in the who watch the MCU, they got great actors, but it goes, is this how they're going to treat their actors? Is this how they treat their directors? It's a bad look. And I think that it's really not fair. Look, you can sit there and say, oh, these actors make millions and stuff like that. But let me tell you something. If I was an actor, okay, or let's just put it in real world. If this was your job, okay, let's just say it's Joe on the street. If this was your job and you put in work and you were guaranteed something, and then your boss cuts that money out of your check, are you not going to be mad
That is
and
correct.
go after them?
That is right. You would do everything within your power legally to try and either get your money back or get some kind of compensation that you deem is equal. That's what she tried to do. So I don't have a problem with it. When I first heard it, I was like, damn, she's kind of biting the hand that's feeding her. But after digging more into it, no, she wasn't biting the hand that's feeding her. In fact, I'm being told, and my resources are saying that Kevin Feige went to Disney several times saying, hey, look, don't put it on Disney Plus. This is going to mess up the sales. You're going to be in breach of contract. Let's try and work out something else more amicable that we can still both have a win-win situation. Disney pretty much said, kiss my ass. So she did what she had to do. So
And
I
that's my point, Danny. That's why I won't endorse these guys because for me, I can deal with Look, we've been called whatever for years, right? Even by people in the outside world to call you a nerd or whatever. I can deal with that. I don't get
Mhm.
mad when the studios come out and say that's their jargon. They got to say. My
Yeah.
my whole big thing is I don't feel like it's right to endorse a company with movies that I like, and I feel like the actors, the directors, the studio, the theater. I worked in a theater. I saw how these companies treat us, and the theaters are going out of business. People are losing jobs because of the stuff that these corporate people are pulling. And if we don't show them that we care about these venues, man, 5, 10 years from now, we might not even be going to theaters. And that would be a shame. We all
I
grew up
think
with them.
yeah, but I think theaters are about to be obsolete. Just what I just made a statement on one of my earlier videos. When I was growing up, man, it was 8 track player. Then 8 track evolved to a cassette player. Then a cassette player evolved to a CD disc. Now CD disc has evolved to an iPod. iPods evolved to your phone. You just plug your phone up to the HDMI cable in your vehicle, and that's how you play your music. Or you go Bluetooth. I just bought a 2019 truck last year, and I got a bag full of CDs. Put them in the truck, try to look for the thing to slide CD in, and the guy say, Mr. Graham, this truck not equipped with a CD player, sir. You got a Bluetooth on your phone or your iPod? Yeah, well, that's how you play it. Or you got to hook your phone up to the HDMI port. It'll come up through the radio. So I say all that to say this is that theaters, and especially with the streaming, man, because streaming is so much more convenient. Now, are you going to lose that sound? Yes. Are you going to lose that big 2,000-inch screen? Yes. But hell, I got a 65, 70-inch TV, 3D TV in my living room, nice recliner, surround sound in my house. If I don't want popcorn, I can make fried chicken, whatever the hell whatever the hell I want to eat. And then if I got to use the bathroom, I hit pause, go use the bathroom. Shit, if I get a work call, I hit pause, take the call, hit resume. I haven't missed anything. The theater can't offer you that. I went to Black Widow, and this is no lie. I got a work call, 3 work calls while I went to Black Widow. The power went out at the theater for 15 minutes. When the power came back on, it was 15 minutes faster into the movie. So we had to tell them, no, stop. We hadn't seen this part yet. Go back 15 minutes. Instead of going back 15 minutes in the movie to where we stopped at, they went back an additional 15. So we had to watch 15 minutes movie that we already seen. And it was just a bad experience for him. My grandson went with me, and he had to use the bathroom a couple of times, and he wanted extra popcorn. So I was like, oh my God. And I wasn't really thrilled or happy with the movie. So streaming, man, is it's just convenient as hell. And plus, if you go to a movie and you don't like it, you feel obligated to sit there and watch because you don't spend your hard-earned money. With a streaming service, if you don't like it, shit, after 10 minutes, cut that shit off and turn to something else.
I'm gonna make us feel for a second, but I I go with the like, okay, so me and my dad didn't do much when I was growing up, but the one thing that we had was the theaters, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think the thing that bugs me the most about it is losing the experience, because everything's all digital now, right? We're constantly
Mhm.
on our phones looking down at a screen. Hell, I do it. I know you do it.
Uh-huh.
We're always looking at a screen. And I feel like if you start to get rid of stuff like this,
What
we
up, Jay?
really start to lose the the experience of being together. Like these kids, man. I sit here, I watch. Like you have a group of kids at the mall, right? I watch
Uh-huh.
3 or 4 of them, and they're sitting there on their phones, but not interacting with each other. And it kind of worries me. And of course, tech companies and things are pushing towards this because, bottom line, and I don't blame them for that. Welcome to capitalism. But
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of sad because it's not like when we were growing up, man. And I know our parents had the same speech to us when we were growing up on how everything's changing, but it really does feel like there's a shift. And it's
Mm-hmm.
also dangerous because with this Black Widow movie, this proves something that Disney never thought of. And I said this before, and I called it. And why I said WB was smarter for making the movies free. This is a way for every studio to cut out the people out of contracts or to sign bad deals like they used to do back in the day, right? Before unionizing and getting these people fair deals. Now you can just hire someone and say, oh, yeah, we'll release your movie in theaters, and they'll make the cut off of the streaming platform. And to me, that's just slimy, man. It just, even if it goes the way of streaming, man, I
Yeah,
think there has to be a fairness. These people do a job just like any of us, and they should be compensated for their work.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, they're gonna have to put something in place because, like you said, I haven't thought that far down the line, but I do think, especially now, it seems like this COVID is coming back, the numbers are going up, and if they're gonna shut down again a second time, I just don't think that theaters are gonna be able to recover. And
I agree.
I just think that the streaming services they already showed Disney Plus already showed they can be. I don't think they're profitable because I think it made like $100 million to make that movie. So you're gonna make 3 times that, which is made 3 times that. But I think to me, this movie was not a flop, but it was a dud because I just did a video earlier this evening saying that Black Widow was a dud because there was a Kevin Feige came and took over the MCU in 2007, and he made 5 movies. He made Iron Man in 2008. He made an Incredible Hulk in 2008. He made Iron Man 2 2010, Thor 2011, and Captain America 2011. And Captain America made $370 million. After that learning curve, that 5 movie learning curve, he never looked back. He never made anything under $500 million. So those five movies, was his learning curve, so to speak, from 2007 to 2011. That's 4 years. It took him 4 years to figure it out. Okay, I do this, and this, and he hasn't looked back. This Black Widow movie, I think, made about 350, 370 somewhere in that frame. So, according to the standards that he already made after that 5 movie learning curve, you can consider this financially a dud, not a flop. Because a flop means everything is totally just a failure. It's not a total failure, but it is a dud. And I even went forward as far as to, to put what that means. And a dud means not working or meeting standards. Black Widow did not meet the standards of a MCU movie as we presently know it.
Yeah,
After,
yeah, I agree.
so,
And I just wanted to answer Stan. I saw Invincible. To me, it's one of the best superhero shows out there right now.
oh hell yeah!
Uh, I will die on that hill. That was a great show, very good. Um,
What
and
up?
I
What up,
can't wait for the
Josh?
boys.
Hey, did you see a movie called Pig?
Dude, that movie was great. I love Nick Cage. I love Nick
Oh my
Cage.
God! You just made
Dude,
Josh, movie aficionado, praises that movie all the time. He said it's fantastic, but to me, it looks like, oh my God, it looked like a snooze fest to me. But he swears
no,
up and down that it is good.
it would. You know what? If you strike me as the type of person who'd like serious stuff, like you would think it'd be goofy, but once you get into the movie, I'd say I'll just go out and say it. I'd say this is Nick Cage, back in prime form, actor wise. Like, he knocks it out of the park. And I
Okay.
want that pig. That pig is adorable.
Okay. Billie Jean says, I go to a drive-in where I'm at, owned by a family. People from all over go to keep it going. It doesn't cost much to family support it because there aren't many left. I care about small businesses. I've said since day one, that's how if I owned a drive-in and like Billie Jean said, there aren't many left. In the state, there was a thing in my state of South Carolina, I think there's only two that I'm aware of. Two that was left. I would have gone to the distributors and say, hey, look, man, we'll play your movie. We'll play your movie. Um, just send it to us, and you could exercise social distancing. You could do all that kind of stuff that you can't do in a regular closed theater. At a drive-in, you could utilize, and I think be very very profitable. Play on a nostalgia kick, man. You remember just do commercials. Hey, remember back in the day when you used to go to the theaters and snuggle with your girlfriend or your sweetheart or whatever. You could play all of that kind of stuff and still have families in their car. So there's if you're a family in your car, you don't have to worry about social distancing. You stay in your car and just I think it would have been fantastic. Why they didn't pursue that or try that, or if they did, no one publicized it. I don't know because I think drive-ins could definitely save the movie industry. And if the movie industry people, the people that make the movies, they could invest in the drive-ins and make drive-ins just as fantastic as the theaters and still be within the guidelines of social distancing. So I don't know how much money that would be, but they're losing money now. So I mean, you got to try and do something to stop the bleeding. And I just think drive-ins would have been the perfect band-aid to stop some of this bleeding.
Yeah, I mean, look, Marvel and stuff is going to be okay, no matter what, because they've recouped that end of the money. But the one thing that people don't realize is Disney is a company as a whole, right? Marvel makes up a small piece of the pie. Even
Yeah,
if they do 3 billion, it's still parks, entertainments, and things like that. And Iger has spent a lot of money trying to buy out the competition. And I gotta be honest with you, with some of these choices, uh, it makes me question like where exactly entertainment is going, man. Because I mean, look at some of the stuff we've got. There's some stuff that's literally on like Netflix. and Amazon and other stuff that I won't watch because it's just so bad. But it's doing well, and why is that? The convenience factor. And I think
Mm-hmm.
what we're going to see, or we've already seen, is you're going to see a lot of these things start pouring over. I mean, they look at Suicide Squad, right? Swinging back to the review, they pretty much set up James Gunn, who's a pretty big director, to come and direct a show. For like back in the day, man, you wouldn't be able to get these directors and actors like that who are making a decent paycheck to come over. But now they're seeing what's going on and they're like, I got to get me a show. I mean, I'm pretty sure Elizabeth Olsen did well with a show, and Tom Hiddleston, he'd be crazy not to take that, man, because
Yeah.
I'd take it if I was him. You can, from what I've heard, you could definitely tell they're setting up for a sequel to that, right? And you got Owen
Mm-hmm.
Wilson. When's the last time he did anything? And now everybody loved him on the show, from what I hear from
Yep.
people. Everyone loved him. So
Yeah.
you have people literally making comebacks off of streaming. And to be honest with you, I've been saying that too. I think the box office is going to die. And I think that a lot of people, the smart people, have started to see that streaming is the way to go. I mean, did you ever think someone like Martin Scorsese would do a film for Netflix? I mean, I'd never called that in a
I
million
didn't
years.
either. I didn't either. I didn't either.
But I think they're starting to see the writing on the wall here. That
Mm-hmm.
uh,
It's
look at
the
the box
evolution, bro.
office.
The evolution.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I'm checking out the numbers and figures. I'll be tracking this all weekend because this is going to be an important week. But it looks like Suicide Squad is looking to almost make up most of its budget this weekend alone.
How much was it?
Right now, it's at 4.41 million for the opening numbers on Thursday, and that's a premiere date. That's damn good. So the numbers for today and this weekend will be in on Monday, and I think I'm gonna do tracking for it. But with that kind of a start, I know it's definitely gonna pass Black Widow.
You think so? Because
Yeah.
Black Widow
Black
did what,
Widow's
80
opening
million,
was
didn't it?
lower.
Wasn't Black
The
Widow 80 million, something like that?
Yeah, that was the weekend though. Her opening premiere on Thursday was only like 2.3. And then it boosted up when people started like going to the show, and then they got that 80 million. But then look what happened. It dropped off of a cliff. Dropped 80%. That's unheard of.
Yeah. I got a
Not
bet with a friend of mine. An opening weekend, you're gonna make more than 80.3 million bucks. So that's what I'm hoping it makes more than 80.3 million bucks.
I mean,
So
I'm hoping this does good too, because if James Gunn can beat the okay, let's just take our personal feelings of the movie aside though. How cool would it be if an R-rated movie from the DC that no everybody, and I don't care what any of these Marvel fans say to me, I'm sorry, but everybody always says, oh, DC, blah blah blah. How cool would it be if we had a great weekend opening for this movie? You know what I mean? To
I,
kickstart Infinity.
I would love it. I
I'd
just
love
said
it.
I just said in last night's stream, I was streaming with Robert Storm, and I said that Marvel seems to give DC opportunities to make up ground. They just don't take advantage of it. Or they'll put out movies I don't know what happened with Wonder Woman 84. I don't know what happened. I'm still scratching my head on that one. I'm like,
Dude, that
what
was one
was
I did see. I was like you. I was like how you felt with this movie. I felt with Wonder Woman. Like, I paid money and I saw, and then she talks with him at the end. Man, I was so mad. I was so mad. Oh, I go, that's not even Wonder Woman. What are you doing, Patty? I know
yeah.
you're a good director. Like,
And then that fight with Cheetah was underwhelming. I'm like, oh, she went through
uh,
all of this whole thing to get Wonder Woman powers. Then the fight may have lasted a whole 5 minutes. I'm like, oh my God. So I don't know what Patty Jenkins was doing. I hope she gets another chance because I think she's a good director, but I don't know what happened on this one. She got to rein herself back in and read some more content or something. Because, like you said, that was not Wonder Woman.
No, and they said they gave her a lot of free reign. Like the last movie, most people don't know. Like she's a good director, but she's one of them ones that need to be reined in. And look, George was the same way too. Let's not forget the prequels. I love the prequels, but there's still a lot of questionable decisions, and no one to rein George in. Like, come on, bro, you can't write love stories. Don't do it. Don't do it. Someone could have
Yeah.
said that, but that doesn't take away from the story. But with this, it was like what really mystified me about hers, and this gets back to our movies. Whether you and me disagree on, whether or not, you were disappointed. I highly loved it, but we can agree this is definitely a good product worth viewing. There's care put into this movie. And I would hate for this not to do well, because that's going to have DC back in that mode where they feel like they need to micromanage their directors. And I think that's a terrible way to run a business. You got to let these guys create.
I agree. What did you think of overall of the Zack Snyder's Justice League? You think it's overhyped? You think it's good?
So here's the thing. You know Pop Culture PB, and he absolutely hates Zack Snyder. But I agree with some of his points. I feel like this was great for the fans, but I felt like I didn't need to see Batman walking up a hill with people singing behind him. There's a lot of things that he could have cut that didn't make a difference. Like, I liked the new reworks. I thought that was good to put in. I like the backstories. That was essential. Like, everyone's much more fleshed out, especially Cyborg. Like, good for him. I can understand why what's his name was upset. They cut a lot from his story, like a lot, and they just kind of made him a token character, and that's not right. Seeing what they did to his character from the Snyderverse really opened my eyes, because I used to be like, why is he complaining? And then you watch the movie and you go, oh my God, like, they butchered his story arc for the sake of time.
Yep, they sure did.
They massacred it, and it's a shame, because like we were talking about earlier, that's an example of actors being screwed over by these companies for the sake of money. So I 100% agree. But at the same point, Zach, you're another one. Bro, I don't need a 4-hour movie. God, stop making these movies. I don't want to sit at a theater. I don't even want to sit on my couch for 4 hours, have to get up, eat dinner.
I didn't mind it, man, because I was engaged the whole time. One of the big arguments that we have about that, me, Anzo, and several other people on stream would say, okay, you got $20 in your pocket. You can only watch 1 or 2 movies. To your left is Zack Snyder's Justice League. To your right is Endgame. Which one you going to go watch and see? And also on top of that, or I guess before that, which movie do you think is the better of the two?
I think that's, and I've heard this comparison, I think that's a poor comparison, because whether or not, and I did have my issues with Endgame. I don't like when you introduce time travel. I think it's a cop-out, and I think it's a way for them to bring people back. I thought they didn't need that. But with that being said, I did feel closure, which is what the movie is supposed to have, right? It was a closure to a whole arc that was building for years. And I think that they achieved that well. At the same time, once again, runtime, some of the time travel stuff, there were flaws in that. Now, with Snyder, I'm not going to lie. I watched it a couple of times. Even though I complain about the length, I did watch it like 3 or 4 times, because I review things, and I don't just watch it once. I go back through to see if I missed something, And watching that, technically, it's a beautiful movie. Story-wise, I do feel like he tripped up on a story a little bit, and he left too many things open that they're never going to do, and that upsets me, because, dude, we need a dark side. Like, I would have loved to see Zack Snyder's dark side.
Yep.
I would have loved to see that. and we're not going to get it. And that's the biggest thing that upsets me about it. But I think it was all pretty good, despite what people said. But I think each movie has its own set of flaws. So I say I'd probably watch. You put me in a tough spot because action-wise, Endgame did have like,
That last hour,
especially
man, is beautiful, brother.
like the Endgame had that battle at the end. That I don't care what anyone says, that battle was epic. But
Yeah.
but Justice League had a very personal, gritty kind of feel to it. And the battle with the Amazons and the Superman battle was much better.
Yep.
There was a lot more teamwork, and it felt really good. Man, I would say maybe, and I'm being completely biased, maybe because I'm a DC fan, I would lean more towards the Snyder Cut as opposed to.
That's what I said too. I mean, the only reason why I picked it because I was engaged the whole 4 hours of Zack Snyder. But in game, I like the first 30 minutes. The next hour and a half kind of drags, and then I love the last hour. So I don't get that drag.
That's my problem too. I agree with you. Like when you're doing Marvel versus DC, first off, I feel like it's not a fair comparison because they're two very different tones and storytelling. But secondly, like I hate this view like nobody can be objective because everybody in this world has to feel like, oh yeah, it's Marvel. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it gets a pass on so many mistakes in their film. Like people are willing to glaze over. But then you get to DC, and maybe you can call me a bitter DC fan or whatever. I don't care. I've been called it all before. But I just feel like people kind of shuffle to the side what they do in the DC and how they can achieve certain things that Marvel can't do because of its tone. There's a lot of things Marvel can't do because it's just too dark for the kind of universe they set up.
I agree. I think that Marvel definitely gets a pass because they were able to figure out how to create such a popularity and such a buzz for comic book characters that were scrutinized for so long by other directors that said eventually it's going to be hero fatigue, which I think hero fatigue is going to come up. I believe it shows we sitting here one day we're going to get tired of seeing this because everything has a season. Everything has its turn. I can remember a time when westerns used to be the hot thing. I can remember a time when sports movies used to be the hot thing. I can remember a time when mob movies, then these romantic comedies, all that kind of stuff. So everything has a season. I'm not sure when we're going to run out or when we're going to start getting hero fatigue, but I think it's coming. I think it's inevitable. Maybe 5 years from now, 10, 15, but I think one day something's going to play superhero and nobody's really going to like it, and that's going to be the beginning of the end of it. So,
see, I would disagree because look at Star Wars. I think it's not a matter, and I've heard this from some critics, and this is where I do agree with them. I don't think. Hey, Terrence. Hey, what's up, man? I don't think that it's fatigue in like say Star Wars or Marvel or anything else like that. I think it's what it comes down to is story. You need to have a compelling story. I think you can do hundreds of these movies. It's a question of how do you give people something that's different, something that's new. This is why I like Suicide Squad. Like, yeah, I agree with some of your points. It could be a little outlandish, a little goofy, but within this, James Gunn took a lot of chances and did a lot of crazy things, and went there killing some main characters. And I think it's a good boost to the comic genre because it really.
I listen to you. I'm sorry, just speaking. Yeah, I shoot with Maz every Monday, man. So thanks for dropping by, Maz. I appreciate it. But go ahead, Zod.
But you know, I think it's one of those things where uh, I don't think it's a fatigue, because if that was the case, people still wouldn't watch Jaws, people still wouldn't watch ET, people still wouldn't watch Independence Day. I think what it is not producing and making the same stuff. Even westerns, man. There's still people who have heard of Bush Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
No, 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 no,
Good, the
no.
Bad, the Ugly.
I'm not talking about movies that's already established. I'm talking about like certain genres. You know, like sometimes, kind of like clothes. You know, there's a time when bare bottoms used to be the thing, and it go to another fad. I'm just saying that in certain style of movies, I think that one particular style will be hot for decades, whatever, and I think it'll cool down, and something else will replace it. If it's a good movie, you're gonna watch whatever, because I can't tell you how many times I watched Shawshank Redemption. That's like, to me, that's
Oh
the
yeah.
perfect movie. Every time it comes on, I'm watching it. I got a guilty pleasure. I don't know why, but whenever the Phantom comes on, man, I always sit down and watch that movie.
Oh man. Okay. All right. We're vibing again, man. Fan of
Yeah,
that movie is so underrated. Like
yeah.
I remember I saw that in the theater.
I don't know where I saw that, but I was like, man, this is pretty cool. That and what's the one? The Shadow. That's
The
a
chat.
guilty
Yep.
pleasure, man.
Oh
Guilty
man.
pleasure.
Man, I saw that when I was a kid. And I remember that I tried to track down, like, I had the books. And I can't tell you, I can't find them anymore, but I had the Shadow books, and it used to be a radio show. And I tracked down some of the old stuff because people have gone through, thank you, technology, and remastered some of those old recordings to like digital quality,
Yeah,
like 1952 or whatever. And I always thought to myself, man, that would be so cool. Why hasn't anybody tried to make a movie or a remake? We remake all of these things. I think The Shadow would do great now. If
yeah,
they got a good cast and a good director, I think you could make The Shadow a household name because his power is so cool.
yep. It was cool, man. I liked it, and I can't think of the guy that played it. What's his name?
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin. Man, he killed it. He killed it as a Shadow. So I'll definitely watch it again. I would definitely watch the remake. So I only meant to stay an hour, bro. We going in an hour and 24 minutes. Anything else you want to cover or say before we go? Want to shout out your channel? Anything that's coming up you want to talk about?
Oh, I guess. If you guys don't know, it's the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in all of YouTube entertainment today, Mr. Zod. I want to thank Mr. Comics Chat for having me on, even though we disagree about how hype this movie is. I do definitely see his opinions, and I respect them. And
Same
uh,
here.
yeah, and I appreciate you giving me another perspective because I could wear nostalgia goggles. But tonight, actually at midnight, I will be doing my late night talks. We talk about like news stories, but we make fun of them. It'll be me, Mr. Pop Culture PB, and some guests. So
I got you.
it'll
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
warning. There will be a lot of cursing and absurd stuff said.
Hey,
So
I don't mind cursing on here, and I thank you, man, for coming by, man. We always talk. We met talking about power, and I haven't even watched the first episode of Power of the Book of Canaan yet. I haven't watched it yet, so I think I might just going to binge watch it because I'm so
me
far
too.
behind now.
Me too.
Yeah. Before we go, what do you think of the Superman and Lois series?
I'll be honest with you, CW better keep that show because it's the best thing they got going on right now.
Hey, I am, man. I'm telling you, it is fire. I'm ready to see this season finale. And
Yep,
bruh, I am really I was pleasantly surprised with this show, man. It's good.
dude,
It is
CW
good.
hasn't done a great show since what, the original season of Arrow back.
I'm a fan of Flash. Now the first half
Flash did too.
and Stargirl is really good. I'm curious to see how the second season is going to be because it starts next week, if I'm not mistaken. But the first
But
season of
Stargirl
Stargirl,
was on the DC streamer,
yeah.
so I get you into them.
But now it's gonna be on CW. So I'm seeing whether or not CW still gonna take care of it like it did on the streaming service. But Stargirl, man, it was all right, man. It was all
Can
right.
CW afford though to have what's his name in?
I don't know. Do I Owen Wilson brother?
Yeah, because he's a great actor, and I really feel like, and what's her name is in it too. I always forget her name, but she's also a pretty big actress. Like I was like, is most of their budget going to be paying them to come out of the CW?
Well, I think they filmed over in Vancouver where it's considerably cheaper. Because I remember Supergirl, the first season was filmed in Los Angeles, man. It was like over $1 million an episode. So they went to Vancouver where it's much cheaper. So I'm thinking Stargirl is filmed in Vancouver, so they may be able to cut costs that way.
They're going to need to do something because they can't lose that cast. Because I'll tell you right now, that first season was fire because all of those actors were great. It was a surprise show, and honestly, I really don't want them to bring Swamp Thing. Not like bring it back. Like show the first season edited or whatever, but I don't want them to bring the show back because James Wan did it, and I think it'll lose something without him directing the episodes. It had too dark of a tone for them to really do effectively on the CW. Like people were getting cut in half and stuff in that show. And I think they just water it down. So I'd say leave them dead.
I got you. Well, I am Danny Graham, aka Comment Chat. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed to me on my channel, please do subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. Please give me that thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. I don't know how. Don't make me sit here and tell you a lie, because I don't. All I do know is that it does help. Zod, thanks for coming on, man. Like I said, we met a couple years back before this COVID-19 situation. We were both fans of Power, which is, to me, one of the best shows ever put on. I like the second book of Power. Zod, not so much, and neither one of us have watched the third book of it. But if you ever had a chance to watch, man, go back and watch, man. It's a very good show. And where the hell is my outro at? There it is. Until next time, man, take it easy and peace.
Have a good one.